All right. Welcome to the love segment, a space where family quirks and parenting puzzles get real. From confronting surprise and identity like an 11-year-old exploring her sexuality to handling the unexpected challenges of toddler antics and even old school mother-in-law commentary. We are diving into the maelstrom of modern family dynamics. Here, every awkward tear and laugh out loud moment is a step towards understanding that love isn't always neat, but it's always genuine. All right, so let's begin tonight, love, with a thought-provoking question.
Yes.
In a world where parenting advice is as unpredictable as the kids we raise, how can we balance those societal expectations with our instincts, especially when our children or family members' behaviors challenge our deepest preconceptions about love and normalcy?
Okay, societal expectations.
Well, remember, you have to all this. What are societal expectations? Look, you can sit here and talk to us, and you and I will give people different parenting advice simply because we've raised different sets of children.
Yeah.
I raised most of the boys. You raised all girls. That dynamic right there would give us different sets of parenting opinions.
Yes.
But we each had different life experiences leading up to those, and
we did.
And during that, and all that itself will lead to different. And then you take that out into the vast world of TikTok and Reddit and everything, every place else. You're a new parent. It's worse than when we were, right? We went to the library or something. You looked up a book on parenting or magazines on parenting. You only had a handful to really choose from.
There wasn't a whole lot out there.
And in a sense, I think that may have been better. I think it's the nice thing about like what we do and things on TikTok is and Reddit and whatnot is, those parenting moments become relatable, even if your solutions are different, right? The moments themselves are relatable because they're repeatable. These parenting moments repeat themselves, and
they do
essentially in every family that's ever existed. You all essentially get the same experiences. They're unique because each family is unique, each child is unique, but the underlying thing is very relatable to everybody because we've all kind of gone through it, even if nothing else has gone through it as a child. And so in a sense, it's good to hear all those relatable things, but at the same time, it does make it feel like maybe society is being more judgmental than they really are. Under the sore thumb theory, you're going to notice those things that are stick out, things that are a pain point. You notice when you step on a Lego, right, at night. But do you notice when you step on a sock?
Okay, no.
Right, but yet both the things were the same function. They both had something left on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah, but you only notice it when it hurts. And it's the same thing with, societal judgments. You only notice the ones that hurt. You don't notice all the people who shrug their shoulders and say, yeah, it's parenting, and just move on with their life because it's no big deal. You don't notice any of those. You don't even really notice the ones that cheer you on and say, congratulations. You brush those aside because you're too worried about whatever it is you're going through at the moment. But somehow, us as human beings, we notice those critical ones.
Yes, we do.
Partly it's good because you want to learn. You don't want to make the same mistakes.
Yes.
But when there's too many voices, you end up with confusion. It's kind of all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't understand this. Well, I know there is on TikTok, it can be good for support for special needs parents, children.
Yeah.
That are special needs.
Yeah. My only problem with that is I've seen a shift in how people deal with, people feel far more of a victim than they used to. I don't want to go back in our days. Lots of people had special needs, but you just kind of dealt with it. You didn't treat them like a victim. And now children with special needs are treated essentially like victims. And I don't think it does them any good long term. I understand the emotion behind it. I get it, but I don't think it does the child, the human being, any good long term to view themselves as a victim of nature, a victim of society, whatever it is. You are what you are, and you've got to learn to navigate the world regardless. And you're just going to have to learn how to navigate it the best you can, Because we forget most special needs kids are actually quite high functioning.
Yeah.
And we actually overly baby too many of them. And we keep them a little too tight, a little too, understandably so, a little too, what's the word I'm looking for? Comfortable.
Don't let them make mistakes.
Yeah, but they have to make mistakes. They learn the same way the rest of us do. Some of them just take a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you're more careful about which mistakes you let them make, but you have to let them make them.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway. All right. What do we got tonight?
Okay. First one. My 11-year-old says she's a lesbian. Now, what gets me is you read any child development book, every 11-year-old girl falls in love with her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of, because long ago at 11 years old, you were starting to move out and looking to the future to create your friends, your society, away from your parents, So this is just evolution.
Oh, here's my suggestion to deal with these things is actually quite simple.
Excuse me, I don't think she really understands what she's talking about.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they do, because so much human sexuality is thrown to our children in our schools these days. That maybe she actually does understand, at least to some degree. But here's the thing: even if she doesn't matter one way or the other, so treat it that way. If she is a lesbian, so what? And if she's not, so what? So ultimately, that's the answer you give these children is, so you want a cookie or something? What? If my child came to me and said, Dad, I'm straight, and so what? Dad, I'm gay, and so what? Dad, I'm bi, and welcome to the club. What do you want from me? That's the answer they give them, because ultimately that's the answer. That's the response that should be given. It's not a deal, so don't make it one. Don't reward it. Don't punish it. Just acknowledge it. Sure, fine, whatever. And then she'll go to be whatever she is to be, whether this, that, or the other. Nature will take its course or not, or it won't. But your response is the same regardless. So, what?
Well, I thought I wasn't really addressing the problem yet. I was kind of doing leading up to.
There is no problem. That's my point.
Well, she says she feels it's a problem.
Well, the problem is that there's an 11-year-old who's sitting there trying to solidify her sexuality, which I personally find the bigger issue, not what her sexuality is.
Yes.
But that's
me too. That's what
but
I'm saying.
That's a school thing. They teach this stuff in kindergarten these times. We have to accept that this is what it is. They're having this. She's having this discussion because she's having this discussion. But your response to the discussion is, so what? Because it doesn't matter. Now, you want to take it up with your school board about introducing this stuff into the school at such a young age? That's a vastly different discussion. We're talking about what to deal with it now, not how to prevent it in the future. The horses are out the barn, man. You got to deal with it. You can't put them back. You can't close Pandora's box. It's open. You got to deal with it. So I agree with you. They're introducing these things far too early. 11's maybe when they should start with, here's how your body works. I get it. That's when that should start.
That's what they did with us.
Because we don't want you to be surprised next year when that two or three of you end up having, becoming your woman moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cycle.
So, yeah. But why are you teaching all that other stuff in school when they can't teach them to read and write? I don't know, but that's a vastly different discussion.
Okay. All right. My next question.
Okay.
My niece keeps peeing herself, and I'm not sure how to help her. She's 12.
Okay, so is she just not asking to use the restroom at school? And maybe she doesn't like using the restroom at school, so she doesn't? Or is this a thing that happens routinely during the rest of her day?
This is she waits too long. She's got kind of a little bathroom phobia going on.
Okay, well, see, this is the thing. You have to figure out what it is and then deal with that.
Yeah.
If it's a bathroom phobia, you deal with a bathroom phobia, because there's, if there's no bathroom phobia or no anxiety about using the toilet at school or kind of thing, lots of girls don't like using the bathroom at school. I hear it's a thing. I get it. But at the same time, if it's a not at school problem as well, and she's got a bathroom phobia, then you've got to deal with the bathroom phobia the same way you deal with any other phobia. You go through the specific therapy to deal with that. And if you need to, you pay for the therapist, because that's your role at this stage. If you really want to help her, you help pay for the therapist. That's a professional to walk through how to get over fears. It's no different than fear of heights or fear of flying or anything else. Don't treat it that. If it's really a fear, if that's the fear, then you treat it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go through the same process. You send her through the same process that you send those people through. Acclimation therapy or whatever it is. You get them used to, using bathrooms. But yeah, it's a professional on that kind of thing. And you want to get it now before it makes it, spreads to other issues. Okay.
Mother-in-law says it's my fault. My 7-week-old is so clingy.
Tell me a 7-week-old. Okay. Most 7-week-olds are clingy. Not all of them are clingy, but most of them are clingy.
Well, here's the issue. The baby only wants mama.
And that's quite common at
but
7
the
weeks.
Mother-in-law can't get enough holding time in. The baby doesn't want her.
You'll get your turn.
It'll happen.
Yeah, you'll get your turn. That's the only real solution.
Be patient.
Yeah, doesn't mean you don't keep trying. But because in a sense, the same way I got our old cat to let me pet her foot. It just took years before she became okay with me petting her foot. She eventually did. Still don't think she liked it. She just became okay with it. But still, you grow fast. Give it another 7 weeks, and this whole thing will be different. So, That's my suggestion.
They change so fast.
Yeah, just let the 7 weeks go. All right, what's next?
14-year-old, always negative and angry.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
Yes. Lots of hormones, and boys are struggling these days because the world is designed for everybody but them. We overcorrected as a society. And, I understand the correction, but we overcorrected.
Huh.
And so our boys are struggling under any objective measure. So what do you do about it? Well, the best way to get a boy to stop being angry is to help him be competent in something. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever his interest. If his interest is video games, help him be competent in video games. Help him be competent in something. In the old days, it was you go out and you teach him how to build houses or something. Doesn't matter what it is. Teach him to be a plumber. Teach him to be an electrician. Teach him to be a cameraman. Teach him to fly drones. And whatever it is, teach him to be competent in something. Boys lose their anger when they gain competent because they always have something to do. I've got this thing I'm good at. It gives them an identity. Angry boys don't have identities. So, and he's 14, so they're always going to have a negative streak. It's just what 14-year-olds do.
Sorry, they do. Where have you been?
And
and
they're prone to emotional peaks and valleys, and so there is some of that wrapped up into it. But for the most part, you get that combination, and he needs something to be competent about. Okay.
Co-parent got 6-year-old a phone without consulting me. Oh, we'll get back to.
Sometimes you have to deal with that.
And I understand the issue. He didn't ask. The dad didn't ask.
Yeah.
But, he misses his little girl. He only sees her on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So he bought her a phone so they could stay in daily contact.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. Why was she in the way where he felt he needed to get her daughter a phone so he could have daily contact? He should have been able to call anytime he wanted and have daily contact.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about being a co-parent is you don't get everything to go your way.
You don't.
And this notion, should he have informed you that I'm getting her a phone so we can have daily contact? Yes. Should he have had to ask? No. And the reason he didn't ask is because he didn't want to have to listen to you complain. He knows you. He knows what would have happened. You're here complaining now. You think you wouldn't have complained if we had said, hey, I'm buying her a phone? So to be a good co-parent, sometimes you just have to accept these type of things. Be glad this is all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's buying her a phone. So here's the thing. Maybe you put, internet locks on it when she's at your house so she can only use it for phone calls.
Yeah.
There's things you can do. You could move that.
Sorry.
You could move that. It's on a boom thing. You can move it.
Sorry.
Just you have it.
We're adjusting my microphone. I have a bad habit of leaning over it.
And it just makes it sound weird when I go do editing. All right. So yeah, that's our solution for that is you just have to deal with this one. And should he have informed you before? Yes.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to consult you on this thing. He gets to make decisions, especially about communication between him and his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to regulate how she uses that in your house, but do not, under any circumstances, get between a parent and their child. If they want to communicate, you allow them to communicate.
Yes. And thank your lucky stars that he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Teen son doesn't want to do anything for his birthday.
So then he doesn't want to do anything for his birthday. Hey, you can force him to go to a family party type thing if you really want to. Just invite family over and have the family blow out the cakes, candles. Everybody gives them the presents, give them cash, and go on about your day. Kind of the routine family birthday party. If that's kind of your thing,
Yeah,
that's fine. But if he doesn't want to party, he doesn't want to party. Guess what? It's his birthday. Leave him alone. You don't know better than him. He knows what he wants. And if he did secretly want a birthday party, well, then that's tough. You're going to learn a life lesson there, ain't you? If you want something in life, you're going to have to ask for it.
Actually be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People ain't going to read your mind. But there's nothing wrong with people not wanting a birthday party.
Now, if he has plans, to do stuff that he wants to do, he probably is. He's just not telling you. Even if it's just all day video game fest,
Yeah, maybe
that may be what he wants to do.
There is the thing. Maybe what he wants to do on his birthday is not have to deal with anything.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he wants to do. But leave him alone. It's his birthday.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to have the family, again, you can make him go to the family obligation, but maybe don't do it on his birthday.
Yeah.
Hey, next weekend, our family's going to get together to blow out candles and cake for you. You're showing up whether you like it or not. Fine. But leave him alone on his birthday.
Yeah.
Especially if he doesn't
want it. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Especially if he doesn't want it.
There we go.
Okay.
7-year-old girl won't wipe after peeing and won't flush the toilet.
Okay, well, the flushing the toilet thing is actually an easy one. It's a big, scary noise, and it just probably scares her. It's kind of the bathroom phobia thing, kind of, from the other thing. That one's not such a big deal. Hey, in a drought-prone area, if it's yellow, let it mellow. It's brown, flush it down. So that one, not such a big deal. All right? But the other one, we're going to have to defer to you because I didn't raise enough girls for this to ever have been an issue for me to deal with.
She's in a hurry. She's 7 years old. You're lucky she makes it to the toilet. Okay. Because she is in such a hurry to get back to what she was doing. Okay. Now, for a while, you're going to have to go in there with her, and make her do it and wash her hands, and flush the toilet, go back to basics, and you'll quit she's not going to like you coming in, but, just let her know as soon as you start being more hygienic, then I won't have to, and that's my advice.
Yeah, and if she's really hard-headed, you can make her wear pull-ups until she behaves herself.
Honey.
Well, you could. Not. Hey, if she's really hard-headed, right? You don't have to use those kind of techniques unless you have to. Those aren't the first trick you pull out the toolkit. I'm just pointing out that it is a trick that's down there at the bottom of the toolkit if you should happen to need it. That's all I'm saying. You tell me it's not? You telling me it wouldn't be effective? I'm not saying it's the first one to use. It's one of those that you don't pull out unless you absolutely need it because, it comes with potential childhood trauma.
Yeah, it sure does.
But if what your choice is, you're going to deal with some teenage trauma or you're going to get your child to not get an infection every other week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of those is more important than the other. And you deal with that. Again, it is, it's one of the last tools you have out in the toolkit, though. Don't pull it out first. An exasperation, you go for that one.
An exasperation, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we wrap up this segment on Late Night Love. Remember that every family quirk and mishap is a testament to a bond that's bigger than any rule book. Embrace the chaos. Learn from the heartaches. Have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.
Bye.